Hello, Bunny Buddies! Surprise! I have a lot of plans today, and just as a way to warm up for the day, it's one of my friend's birthday, Luna. Her birthday is today. I didn't realize it till, like, yesterday. I feel kind of embarrassed about that. But it means I wanted to do a quick little live stream, only about an hour. But, yeah, that's the idea I have. I had this picture in mind of her character, also named Luna, I believe. Or, no, yeah. Freaking names are confusing. You didn't hear that. I'll edit that later. As if. I'm hyped up on coffee, because I have a lot to do. And this was not planned, so you guys will show up later on, and if you're able to. Let me make sure everything's organized. I'll have people, give people time to show up as you're able. This was a last-minute stream, so no worries here. Yeah, it's Geen, and I agree, Geen. I should be doing these streams more early in the day. Usually it's because I'm always doing stuff with family. I'll see if I can eventually plan it to have these earlier in the day. Glad you could make it, Geen. I continue my Penmark tradition of typing and saying everything at the same time. But yeah, I will real briefly share around the link just because this is a surprise stream. I don't think people were expecting this. But yeah, I'm going to be working on Luna's birthday present for an hour. And then I have to drive and do other things, but yeah, that's the plan for right now. Let me make sure I have links shared and whatnot. Just arrived home from the cinema. Ooh. What'd you go see? I want to go to the movies. There's a lot of movies I want to see, actually. I haven't seen in... Part of it's been because of money. There we go. Okay, got this typed up. Giving people time to show up. Death Wish! Yeah, I saw the trailer for that. Freaking Bruce Willis. How was it? I hope it was good. At least, I know it's going to be action-packed. It's Bruce Willis. Like, he at least does his Die Hard impression. But yeah. Let me share this link here at the moment. That's why I'm not looking. If I type in... It doesn't work. There we go. These names are thing. Okay, I've almost got it. I'm trying to look at the chat. It was good? Okay. Good, good, good. Almost typing up this message. There we go. Okay. I believe I have everything typed up. Now I can actually look at the chat again. Yeah, I'm seeing that some people seeing messages now going like, wait a minute, why are you streaming this early? Because I want to do these more often. I don't usually get a chance to. Which, speaking of, I think I need a little more coffee. I'm already kind of hyper, but I'm going to need it. Because I have to also drive here, and there's going to be a lot of rush hour traffic when I finally get to it. I have been working on so many pictures lately, so yeah, it feels good to actually talk. I've also been watching my sister play the new Life is Strange game, which has been really fun to see. To do more of these before. There we go. Okay, I'm also typing on my phone. Yeah, I'm a little hyped. And part of it is because I need to, got so much to do today, so it's like, I might as well get myself in a hyped mood. Because this is kind of a last-minute picture. It'll be all on one layer. Well, at least all the character. But I have a good idea of what I'm going to do. And yeah, let me know if you can hear the volume, everything okay. hear the volume okay. I know how to speak, I swear. And I've moved my microphone over here now. You don't have to see a microphone blocking the screen now. It's over here, which I look this way anyway. So I think that was probably for the better. Keeping all these, keeping track of all these cameras at the same time. Yeah, I've got all these chats at once. And good to hear that the audio is okay, Geen. Thank you. There we go. Isn't this eventful? Seeing me type on a phone. Anyway, I try to keep that to a minimum. So, yeah, this was actually started on a little sticky note right here. I think the camera will let you see. There's just a little sticky note of Luna's character that I just came up with last night. And then I scanned it and did a little bit of... I'm trying to get it at a good angle that you can see, but I know my light tends to blur it. But there's a little sticky note here with the picture. And I am now coloring it. So give everyone time to show up. And after this, I need to drive. And then after that, I'll have to eat food and start my private lessons over on Patreon. So busy day. Busy day. Thank you, Geen. I'm glad to hear you like it. I really like this pose. I want to practice more poses. And this gave me a good excuse. And it also gave me a little bit of a break because I'm always trying to keep productive on commissions and stuff. So being able to do a little quick birthday present feels good. Hopefully Luna saw the message and is able to show up soon. I know she may have had other plans because this was really random. But it's also why I'll keep it to just an hour. Because if I keep it to a manageable size, it'll be easy enough if someone has to rewatch it later. Because personally, I do that all the time. Especially on Twitch, but just other sites, I like to like rewatch them afterward. So hopefully that kind of option will be useful to other people. And we keep the Saturday streams long anyway, so I think every once in a while doing a short stream is fine. Yeah, there's a lot of things on my schedule or on my mind of wanting to add. I think me and Jack talked about that before. There's a lot of things we want to do, and we just have to find time. So this is one of the little steps. A little step in the right direction. I feel like I use that phrase too often, but it sums it up so well. That's what it feels like. You gotta take lots of little steps. Otherwise you get overwhelmed. Isa Luna! She showed up! Yay! Hello, Luna. Glad you were able to make it. I know this was very, like, last minute, but... Surprise! Happy birthday. I thought about it sometime yesterday. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Because I have a little, notepad that, back when Silly was making those, that note sheet of everybody's birthdays and favorite colors and stuff, back when Silly was doing that, I actually took advantage and wrote it down. So now I have a little list. And I noticed it at, like, sometime in the afternoon yesterday, and was like, okay, I have a little bit of time tomorrow on your birthday. What can I do? So I drew the picture on a little sticky note. So this is a little version. Maybe it's better on this side. I don't know how the lighting works with my camera, but I drew this on a sticky note, scanned it, and then started doing this. So, yeah. Surprise. I didn't know if you had other plans either, so I didn't mean to catch you off guard, but yeah. Surprise, woof woof. Yeah, it was very last minute, sorry. But yeah, that was the idea. It was a good surprise, and it's only going to be for about an hour because I do have other plans. Yeah, it's this tiny sticky note, and the closer I get it to the light, the harder it starts to blur. So I apologize there, but is little sticky note. It's a little sticky note of basically the same drawing. And yeah, the light blurs it out. Basically, imagine a drawing of this in pencil, but very blurry and smudged. That's basically it. Do you have plans? Okay, nobody's here yet. There we go. I actually timed this well then. Because, yeah, I have plans as well. But, yeah. I want to try doing more of these more often. And also I want to find time to watch live streams as well, because I've been missing a lot lately. I'm always noticing afterward I have an email that says Amy has gone live, and just I have not been on Twitch that much, except to watch things after they've already happened, and I want to go back to watching some live streams too. So yeah, eventually. I think I said I'm keeping all of this on one layer because, well, one character layer. I've got the background, and then I've got one character layer. Because if it's last minute, I didn't want to have to deal with too many layers. I thought about keeping the line art on a separate layer, because maybe that would make it easier, but I'm doing kind of a hybrid of painting, but also keeping line art. I've definitely done that with the Mario picture. What was it? Harriet, the villain rabbit I did a speed paint video of. I did the same thing with that one, where I kept the line art, but I also kind of painted. It's like a hybrid style that actually I'm quite fond of lately. So yeah, it's not technically a thing I usually go to. I don't know. I think it becomes my my go-to style when I'm in a hurry, but I want something to look good. Because yeah, the line art definitely helps things stay crisp, but equally so, the like painting and stuff is fun. So I like this balance. Again, let you guys let me know if the music is a little too soft or loud. I know Geen was saying it's fine, which is good. It's a step. So I can't say that phrase again. But yeah, it's good to know. So mainly because I moved my microphone, so I don't know if it's too close to the music. I don't think it's that bad. I hope. Music good. Okay. Thank you, Luna. I only want it to fill the mood without being distracting. I really want to add a texture on this cape. The more I look at it, I think I want to add a bit of a texture to make it look like it's stitched. Because, yeah, that was the coolest thing when it comes to animal characters in kind of a fantasy setting. I imagine them making their own clothes and stuff like that, so I think I'll just stick to kind of a vague cross-hatching, because that usually creates, excuse me, that usually creates a lot of like it's made of, what's the name of that texture? You know, the stuff that potato sacks are made of? That kind of texture? I don't know what it's called, but like, where you can obviously see the stitching. I don't know what it's called. My brain is not functioning. That's why I'm giving myself time to warm up. Burlap. Thank you, Luna. Yeah, that. It doesn't necessarily have to be that texture, but I like to imitate that texture a lot. I tend to also do that, though, for jeans, whenever I have denim. I've done that a lot, too. There was a recent picture that Geen had me do, the El Dorado one from last week. One of the characters I added clothes to, Geen said it would be, what is it? Kind of like a safari outfit, sort of. And think of Chris Pratt from Jurassic World. That was the example that Geen gave me. And he was wearing jeans, so I got to practice some denim there. And yeah, that's one of my go-to textures, is just put cross-hatching on top of it. Usually with a darker color. Sometimes I've done it with a lighter color. Let me try that. Now that I've said it, let me try it. I think that kind of works too. Because the idea is it's just making it very, like, gritty. So you could imagine feeling that cloak. I'm adding a tiny bit of white there too, just because it helps it stand out. I'm trying not to make the highlight too distracting, but just obvious enough that, again, it stands out. That's my goal. I am a sucker for making things overly bold and standing out. It's just what I like. Ever since I realized that highlights are a thing that can happen on a picture with any kind of lighting, I was like, oh, I'm gonna overuse this, and I do, but I love it. So that's pretty much what I'm doing here. I'll try to keep it polished up enough and not too messy. Because if I have a limited amount of time, I should first just keep it even, and then I can add all the little texture stuff. Because I'll probably add, like, loose strands of fur, like on the cheeks and elbows. I want to add all that, but probably after I've cleaned this up a bit. That's probably been another thing on my mind lately. You guys have kind of noticed I'm pretty much always busy. And it's because I'm realizing I need to speed up my process. Because I like what I'm doing, but I'm taking too long. And there's probably a more efficient way to do everything I'm doing. And that's kind of the thing I'm at. I need to make things cleaned up before I add textures, because when I add texture and stuff after, it speeds up the process. Right now I've been... It makes sense in my head. I don't know if I'm starting to talk in circles. I'm basically having to rework how I work on a picture. Because I think there's a part of me that always wants to just jump in and do texture. And I don't know. It's probably for each person to decide on their own. Because I've seen every version of it. I've seen people where they just jump into textures and it saves time. But then I've seen other people, you know, focus on planning first, which is what I usually do. Part of this is also letting me wake up a bit. I shouldn't be sleepy, but I am. I don't have an explanation. My sleep schedule's been off, and I don't know. I go through waves throughout the day where I'll be awake and then tired and then awake again. But I agree with Geen. I should try doing these more often and earlier in the day, because this actually feels nice. And if I do them earlier in the day, I won't have to worry about a curfew. So that's also very nice. Because my family doesn't like it when I work on things really late. Which I understand. Right now on my mind is that Geen mentioned going to a movie. And I haven't been to a movie in a long time. And now I want to. I think the movie that I'm really curious to go see in theaters, because with everything I've been hearing, I really want to go see Black Panther. Like, oh, man. It just, oh, I could gush every, like, just every hour of the day. I could just be talking about what interests me in that. But, yeah. I want to go see movies in theaters. Actually, the last one I saw was the shirt I'm wearing. Last Jedi. Which, I know that's controversial to Star Wars fans, but I liked it a lot. It wasn't as good as the originals, but I still really liked it. I know it's a controversial whatever. Okay, Luna's saying that Black Panther's amazing. Good. That's what I want to know. Oh, because I want to. I want to see it. It looks good. I keep wanting to turn my head the other way because of where I thought the mic was. Now I have to let myself turn this way. It's so weird. My muscle memory is betraying me. But okay, Black Panther, good. Oh, it looks good. I've also been listening to the soundtrack, because I tend to do that with movies when I haven't gotten to see them yet. Like, I did that with the new Blade Runner. I didn't get to see it in theaters, but when I thought I could, potentially, I was listening to the soundtrack in the meantime. So I'm really impressed with the soundtrack of Black Panther. It's got this freaking one song for their city. I think it's called Wakanda, and it sounds so good. I've put some of that on repeat. My typical routine throughout every day while I'm working on things is just finding playlists on YouTube and letting those just run on repeat. Because I have to pick stuff without words whenever I'm working on stuff. It's why right now I have just chiptune music. Because if I have any words to music, I can't focus. I immediately have to listen to the words, and then yeah. Unless it's another language. If it's a language I don't understand, that's okay. I've done that with like anime openings and such. Okay, Luna is definitely saying I need to go see it. I was hoping so. That's the response I was hoping. I was wanting everything I've heard hyping Black Panther, because it just looks so good. I'm already excited for Infinity War, and I finally saw Guardians of the Galaxy this year. I was really late to the party on that one, but I finally saw it, and I really enjoyed those, both of them. So, more movies. I need them. I'm extremely broke, but I will still try and find time. What else is there? Trying to think. I don't know if the Jumanji movie is still in theaters, but I heard that one was funny, and I'd like to see it. What else was out? Geen was saying that Death Wish? Is it Death Wish? I already forgot the name. That movie that Bruce Willis is in. I'm scrolling through it again. Come on, where did he say it? Where did he say it? Death Wish, yeah. I might. The other movies like Black Panther and such are kind of on my mind first, to be honest. But it's kind of nostalgic seeing Bruce Willis in action movies. I don't want them to get too repetitive, but I do like his acting style, and it's kind of like, you know, the just action movies you can just go mindless to and relax. Because I do appreciate his style of acting. He's a lot like I can almost say the other actor's name that he reminds me of. Just coughed on my coffee. I'm sorry. I hope that didn't hurt your ears. I'm fine. I'm fine. I just saw the visual for it. It looked awful. I'm sorry. It's fine. It just surprised me. I'm fine. With these little cans of coffee. Yeah, I'm drinking canned coffee. How weird is that? Yeah, I tend to drink them too fast. So, that was on me. Okay. That's along the lines of what I've wanted for the cloak. I might smooth it out a little bit. I don't want to overwork it when I still have other areas of the picture to work on. But I think this is starting to work. Let's work on this bow and arrow. Because I want to give it a metal texture. I'm trying to go off of the bow and arrow that Amy drew a long time ago for one of the streams. Excuse me. Excuse me. But I remember I have the reference here. She drew this really cool looking bow and arrow, and I'm trying to copy that. Or at least imitate it. And I'm trying to keep the hands more like paws. That's a thing I'm really aware of lately. I'm really trying to do that. Because I like that look. Equally so, with my webcomic coming back soon, I want to make sure that I practice human hands too. So, I think if I learn the difference between them, that might help. Don't worry, Geen. We can backtrack. If we've learned anything from my streams, it's that I will ramble all over the place. It's why Silly and Jack, we go all over the place with our conversations. So that is perfectly fine, Geen. Obviously no spoiler, chat. Don't do any spoilers. No spoiler, Owl. I don't want any spoilers. But yeah, I am good. I'm glad to hear that there is that all the hype about Black Panther is real. It's like, okay, good. Internet hype is one thing. When I can hear friends reinforcing it, that's even better. You've already seen it 2 times, Geen? Okay, okay. You freaking make me all jealous. If you also give it approval, that's good. That's good. I'm constantly changing my mind on how the folds work on this cape. So I'm trying not to keep it random. I'm trying to actually make sense of it. Yeah, I'm already hyped for Infinity War, and what else do I need to see? I think I've caught up. No, I haven't. I also need to see the other Captain America movies, because I didn't see Civil War. I didn't see, yeah, I didn't see that one. So I need to see that as well. Civil War. Which I think they were, I've probably been, yeah, I have no excuse. I just didn't get to see it while it was in theaters. And, it's why I was so confused when I went to go see Thor Ragnarok. There were some plot points there that I was like, what is going on? I'm usually pretty good at like just implying. I can infer everything and go, okay, I think I know what's going on. I can get context clues, but I do need to still see that one. That shade isn't working. Yeah. As much as I love doing highlights, they're also really difficult, because if you add too much of a bright color on the object, it starts to become... It starts to create confusion. So difficult. Very difficult. But I think I've got the... I like the swoosh. That's the part I do like. I know the vibe is there. Which, again, as long as you've, like... If you establish, like, the movement in your picture, then you can worry about cleaning it up. I think... It's kind of how I feel about, like, anatomy and all that stuff now. It's definitely changed since I was back in school. I used to be a big, like, you have to get things accurate. Now I'm like, make it feel right. Do, like, the emotion first. Hey, Alex is here. Yay. I didn't know if you were too busy, but I'm glad you were able to show up. Makes me happy when you're able to. Even if people have busy schedules, I understand just squeezing in a few hours, minutes, whatever amount of time you're able to do. That works. I know this is an early stream, but it feels good. I like being able to do this while there's still daylight out, too. That's rare for me. I'm usually always doing these once the sun is set. So, yeah, and it's morning over there for you. Yeah, it's midday technically for me, which, again, that's already really early for me to do live streams, so. Gotta change things up. I like changing things up. Okay, I can probably add a little bit of highlight there on that second flap. I'm trying to, without it, I don't want it to look like there's a random, like, corner of the cape that's white. I'm just trying to keep the color right there. And good point, Geen. I know people over in Europe, if I can do these things midday, that's like late afternoon for you, getting close to evening, so it's like a good way to wind down. It's a good point. Yeah, I need to find a way to do that. a lot of stuff I'm doing is still up in the air. Oh, it's 15 minutes till midnight. Well, okay. Yeah, time zones are weird. Well, I'm learning. I'll learn. I had a thing sent on my phone to show me the time zones, but apparently I'm not paying enough attention to it. Oh, okay, and Jack is at work right now. I understand. Yeah. Again, I'll be doing a variety because some people have school or work, so if I do an early stream, they'll miss it. Equally so, yeah, again, time zones, it might actually work for some people, so if I keep it varied, that will help everybody catch at least some of my streams. That's the idea. Ah, prepare that Dropbox, yeah. Yeah, Dropbox is saving my butt so much now. It is very, very useful. Especially since lately, randomness, but I don't really like taking my computer all the way to my scanner because lately, my scanner doesn't like detecting my computer. So if I try to just scan something from my printer over to my computer, it doesn't detect. So I'd have to pick up my laptop and take it all the way over there, and I hate that because I'd have to unplug all these like cords and stuff I have. I have a lot of stuff for like my mic and extra screen and all that, so to save myself the trouble, I usually just get my phone and take a picture, even if it's like poorly lit or whatever. I'll take a picture that way, and then with Dropbox, I'll just put it in the Dropbox folder and then get it from my computer that way. So yeah, I really like Dropbox. It's really, really saving my butt. Really time efficient. Okay. This is getting closer. Yeah, I think that flap looks better pointed. Try not to make it look like Batman, but I still like the points on that cape. If you would like anything added, Luna, to this picture, go ahead and let me know, because I've got room to customize this. If you would like a utility belt or anything else added here, that is perfectly fine with me. So, plus I know if you've got plans, I don't know if how much you'll be able to stay for this. We're doing good on time. I'm probably going to go for another 20 minutes. And gives me enough time to clean all this up and get it ready. Which, yeah, I should jump back to the bow and arrow that I said I was working on. I'm so all over the place when I work on pictures. I think it's part of my, like, coping mechanism. Because to me, I don't like to feel stuck on a picture. I mean, that's kind of obvious. No one likes to feel stuck. But my method to madness is to constantly jump around the picture, because if I stay on one thing too long, I can get frustrated. So if I'm constantly jumping around the picture, I'll draw a bit of a hand, then move over to the face, then go over to the bow and arrow, then over to the tail. I never feel stuck. Excuse me. Oh, it's okay, Luna. If you have little suggestions, don't worry. That's perfectly fine with me. It's only if you want to. Right now I do have an idea, if you're okay with this. But if, like, I know with the arrow here, I'm doing a red arrow, and her cape currently isn't being held together by anything, so I could put a fastener if you'd like a specific color or design on her cape. If you'd like it, don't worry. I'm just offering in case you... Whoa. How did I rotate it? That's weird. I'm still discovering new shortcuts in Medibang. As you guys saw that, it just randomly rotated. I think I did something. One of the hotkeys. I think. I don't know. It never helps to look up the hotkeys on a Mac, because Macs have such, like, random notation for their keys. Like, the command key has this weird pretzel shape, and so instead of just telling you Command Z, which is basically Control Z. They do this weird squiggle and then Z, and you're like, what the hell is that squiggle? And you have to look and go, where on my keyboard is that squiggle? And they don't do Shift, they don't do Caps Lock or Control. They do all these just weird squiggles that whoever designed that at Mac, bad. That was not a good way to do it. I do not like those squiggles. I can remember she had a dagger belt. Yes! That actually is the same picture I'm going off of. Okay, yeah, I have that. Let me bring up that picture. If I can find it. I've got way too many folders lately. I need to clean up my computer. Whoa, wrong thing. I know I have it, somewhere. I want to open the actual picture so that I can look at it, but I technically have it as my desktop, so I might just do that instead. Okay, let's do that. So, whoops. Yeah, she's got the little knife on her right side, on her right hip. Okay. Okay, I can add that. That's easy enough. Here we go. Let's add that. Now, I want to add it in a flow that makes sense, so I think I'm going to have it, yeah. This is a random thing on my mind that I just want to mention. The coffee is making me stutter. Send help or more coffee. But I'm doing lessons in a little bit over on Patreon, so I got to get myself in the mindset of instruction. And one thing I'm doing here that I don't know if it's obvious, keeping things flowing steadily across the picture. The big word for it is composition, of where you put things on the page. For instance, the way I drew her tail, I have it curling back up because I'm trying to lead her tail back to her face. This may sound like random, but this is apparently a big thing that exists. That I did learn some of this back in school, and even though I have problems with art school, there are some things that make sense. And with the tail, the reason I have it swooping back is that then your eye goes like this and comes back to her face. And supposedly in art, the more you can have things leading back towards each other, that's good, because then it feels like the picture all comes together. And that also, you can do some of that by taking turns and having things go back and forth. For instance, her bow and arrow is leaning this way, so to keep the flow, I'm having her belt go this way. And again, to keep flow, now her right arm is up, so we've got this flow. So you've got it going back and forth as much as possible, and that creates flow. There's lots of ways that I'm having things flow back and forth. They're taking turns. As opposed to if you just had a bunch of shapes that were doing this. If you had it only... Hold on. New layer. Come on, new layer. Oh well, there we go. If you have a lot of your objects lining up kind of perfectly, like this, if your character had a lot of, like, the shoulders line up, the hips line up, the hands line up, if you have things that kind of do that across the page, things can feel very still and kind of stiff if you're not careful. So, especially in an action pose like this, the more you can have things flowing and taking turns, that helps a whole lot. So that's why I wanted to mention that, because I was thinking about it as I drew her belt. And yeah, I see Geen posted something. Before you make the Pinmark stream tonight, could you send me the actual Guardians pics so far? Good idea. Okay, yes. Plus, I'd like to come back to that soon. Tomorrow I'm working on Silly's picture, because his commission is almost done. And then we can come back to Geen's pictures, because there's a lot of them. And yeah, I can send that before I start the stream tonight. I can do that, Geen. And yeah, the 10 line challenge. That's exactly the right kind of, the right way to picture it. with all the flow across your picture. The 10-line challenge helps you then think of, okay, where do I want my lines to create the most impact? So exactly, you nailed it there, Alex. You could basically say I'm doing that all the time when I'm thinking about how to pose my pictures. So, yeah, exactly. I'm glad you've already discovered that, because yeah, it's really useful. It saves me a lot of trouble when trying to figure out a pose. Like her leg here, it's like, if you do break it down to think of the line direction and how things are flowing, it can save you the trouble of a pose feeling weird, even after you've put all this time and effort into it. I mean, it's why the 3/4 view on a pose, the fact that she's kind of facing a little to the left, or I guess our right, she's facing at an angle, that creates a lot of diagonals whenever you're drawing a character's pose, and that makes it more interesting. So yeah, there's a lot of shortcuts out there that when you apply them to your picture, you can create the right effect you're after. It's all about what you're after, because some techniques will make your picture feel more elegant and other pictures will make it feel more intense and gritty, and it all depends on what look you're going for. So I need to go back to cleaning this up because I need to keep track of my time. But I think we're doing okay. I'm going to make the metal really shiny because the way I'm imagining it, the little thorns here, the little hooks at the end of her bow and arrow, the grip, I imagine this being made of metal. So I'm going to do a alternating of like bright white and then putting dark shades as well. The light's coming from behind her, so that's where I'm having all of these white highlights for the lighting. Double check that pocket knife. Okay. I can loosely memorize how that looks. And again, keeping with flow, I think I'm going to have it lean this way. Could almost have it leaning more, actually, but I think this works. I need to make room for the handle of the knife, actually, so maybe I'll draw that first. I'll draw a line like this. There we go, and there's the ball at the end of the handle, and then okay, that helped. The more you can break it down and keep it simple at first, it helps you plan a lot. I probably preached that to death, but like, yeah, simple shapes. They save you so much trouble. And I'm going to redraw the string of the bow later, because that'll be the last step. It sits on top of everything, and if I draw it now, I'll just have to worry about it later. Let's lock the layer so I can fill in the edges. I'm somewhat keeping the line art, but then also starting to cover it up at times. It's a mix. My hybrid style of line art and painting. I don't know what else you would call it. Trying to simplify the fur fluff, which, if you think of a checkered pattern, that's probably the way I would say to do it. If I show it with white, you can really see, is when I draw fur patterns, I do this. Well, it's a variation of this, where if you think of a checkered board and you fill in every other spot like this, again, or like a chessboard, whatever you, well, whoops, I did one of those wrong. There we go. I know what a chessboard looks like. That's the method I think of when drawing fur. I do something like this. I don't know if that sounds weird or if it actually does make sense, but my point being, I don't want them all to line up like this, because if the fur lines up, it could work, or it could look like a stripe. And if you want to create stripes, maybe that'll help. But I want it to look even and smooth. So I alternate. I have them not lining up. And I loosely have them arranged without lining up too much. I don't know. It's obviously not like mechanical. You don't want to overdo the pattern. And some of it is just kind of finding what looks right to you, but I'm shouting stuff out just in case any of this will sink in and give you an idea, because I know I've had that in the past whenever I watch people. They'll mention something random, and to me, I'll be like, Eureka, that gives me a huge idea. Why didn't I hear that earlier? So that's along the lines of what I'm doing. And I'm trying to do a simplified version to save time. Yeah, we got this. We got this. Got the fluff of her tail. She got super fluffy tail. Super fluffy tail. Super fluff. Okay. Okay, and I'm trying to evenly blur the division of the pattern on her tail, because obviously when you're drawing the pattern on an animal, like, it starts with just kind of like a solid line, but then you want it to look smooth and natural. So that's why I tend to kind of rough it up. As you see here, I'm kind of trying to rough it up. It helps it look natural. Hopefully. I just have to keep reworking the lines, because you're basically having a tiny bit of gradation in between them. Along with just thinking about which direction they flow. Haha! Hey, Cody! Glad you were able to show up too. This was a surprise stream because it's Luna's birthday, and I have a lot of plans, and so I wanted to squeeze in a little random stream. My goal in the future is to eventually do more of these. I know some people, this will be too early for them, which is why I'll still try to also have evening streams. I'll do a mix, because I understand everybody has their own schedule. Not Luna the cat. Different Luna. Excuse me. This is my friend Luna from over in the Wolf Wizard chat on Discord. I've known her for, I want to say, over a year. How long has it been? I can't keep track of time. Silly pointed out how bad my time was last time. Yeah, that Luna. Luna in chat. Friend Luna. Say hi. She birthday girl. I'm drawing her fox character. Oh, it's okay, Luna. I understand. I'm glad you mentioned the pocket knife. I will send this to you as soon as it's done. In between my plans, I have some time, so I'll be able to finish this up and send it to you. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a birthday surprise, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for being able to come to it. I was actually really glad to hear then that I did this early as opposed to late, so that you could make it. Bye-bye, Luna. Have a good birthday. Say hi to the pupper for me. Give him good pets, since he is now clean dog. I finally caught up on the chat. Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. I hear you, Cody. I have a lot of plans myself. Good dokey. Have a good birthday. And my train of thought has derailed. I don't know what I was talking about, but whatever. Yeah, I'm going to do these more often because they're fun. Gives me practice. It warms me up for drawing and talking. Because every Friday, I'm already doing lessons over on Patreon. So I might try doing this more often. That way I can get in some more practice. Okay. I thought it had like a little button. Oh, it has like a piece of metal at the bottom. Okay. What about the... Okay, they're different colors. Good to know. They're different colors. So this one can be like a golden color. There we go. And then I'll darken it as it gets away from the light. I never know which balance to do of should I be explaining more art talk or just rambling. Well, I ramble anyway, so that's a given. Normal Saturday, yes. I still want to do those. So this weekend's going to be busy for me. But I really like the Saturday streams because I get to hang out with Jack and Sil. So if I can plan them early enough, then I usually have more energy in the day. So yeah. And I believe tomorrow we're doing the normal requests. I think I'm gonna go back to starting with a commission at the beginning, because it always gives me time to warm up, gives people time to show up. Also lets me be a tiny bit productive, because I always have a million things to do, which is fine. It's fine. Am I pointing towards the microphone enough? I don't know. I'm trying. I don't have one of those little clippy things that people put on their shirts, so I've got that microphone. But yeah, I moved my microphone, in case anyone missed that. So, yeah. In other Penmark-related news, what else has happened lately? I've mentioned this to patrons, I have a bunch of ideas lately for videos I want to make. Okay, good. Thank you, Cody, for letting me know that my voice is actually coming up through correctly words. I have a bunch of ideas for videos I'm going to make soon. I just obviously need to find time first. I've got 2 or 3 speed paint videos. One I've recorded for, but I need to make a song for it. Yeah, I've got a couple speed paint videos. I've got a... what's it called? Like an art review. The little drawing sessions I've shown where I would show how I drew a picture and talk about it. I did 2 episodes of Miracusa's Pool, and there's still one more episode that I've recorded for. I just need to do the commentary over it, because that method tends to help me. So I can watch myself draw and talk that way. Because clearly me right now, talking and drawing, it has a different flow. It can work, and can also be difficult to keep myself on track. It keeps things open and honest, and you get to see in real time how I draw, so that part's nice. Let's draw the tip of the bow and arrow. And yeah, it gets bigger as it gets towards the handle, and then gets thinner. Because weight and stuff. It's more stable if it's thicker at the base and then gets thinner as it goes outward. That way it won't break. Basic physics. Which also, not really related, but I want to show something else I do a lot of, especially recently, to save time. If I'm busy working on something, and I realize that some of the lines are on low opacity, like this, like some of these lines I was doing are very, like, they're see-through. That's what I mean by opacity. These lines are kind of see-through, and I want them to be instantly filled. I will make like 10 copies of one layer like this, as you'll see on the bow and arrow. I'm going to make 10 copies of it. And as I did that, it thickened it out. Because if you layer them all together, the transparency cancels out and it becomes a full layer. And now I've got a thick color to work with, as opposed to trying to clean it up manually. That's another random thing I've been doing a lot lately. Wanted to mention it. Boy, this is... I need to get more in the groove of trying these, because it's really fun doing live streams with someone. And if anything, I start to get rusty if I only rely on conversation. So it takes its own skill to go off of my own thoughts and try to make stuff happen. Which I've been doing a lot with the Patreon thing, so it's good practice. And hopefully the random tidbits of information have been somewhat interesting. Bow looks good, even the detail on the feather. Oh, and the feather! Thank you! I actually need to clean that up, because it feels really messy to me. we are our own worst critic, so you can only take your own thoughts with a grain of salt when it comes to art. I know that most because I do it to myself all the time. Again, when you have conflicting thoughts with what's actually on the page, we then become really harsh. It's why I have to, well, keep myself in check. I've gotten pretty used to it, so I never really get stressed by my own negativity, because I know I'm overthinking it. And when I know I'm overthinking it, I just automatically go, oh, I'm being hard on myself. It's probably not that bad, even if I feel like it is. I don't know. I've gotten in a habit of striking that balance. And you still have to also give yourself enough credit when you learn something, or you're working on something new. You gotta give yourself credit there, too. So, yeah. That's a good point. It actually makes it more realistic then. With the arrow being frayed at the end. I have fired arrows once, because back in 5th grade, we went to a camp north of us for a week. I think a lot of schools do that in this area, actually. We went to, I believe the camp was in Oklahoma, because I'm here down in Texas. And yeah, one of the things we had a bunch of arrows, bows and arrows, targets. I think all of them were made of styrofoam or whatever, but yeah, it was fun. I actually really miss it and wish I could try that again, but I have no way of doing it. At least not in that setting. One day. You know, when I have time. But yeah, I don't know, they just sound really fun. And they're fun to draw too, so that's nice here. Trying to keep the texture decent. Ooh, you got to take archery in high school? I am insanely jealous. That is really cool. What else? I mean, I just took a bunch of like artsy stuff in high school, which, you know, is fun. I did like it, but I would have loved archery. That would have been awesome. I'm jealous. I would have found loopholes to take extra semesters of it. I mean, that would have been awesome. Oh, I know Alex, I think, mentioned that he got to do fencing, which also sounds really cool. It's like, oh, all this stuff. So cool. One day. I don't have to actually know when. I don't know. I think it's nice to keep things in the back of your mind of something you would like, but don't worry if it happens later than you expect. It's like, doesn't have to happen right now. You can take your time. There's no reason to rush things in life. Ah, it sounds so cool, fencing. Archery and golf. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it makes sense that every area has their own kind of extracurricular. Yeah, fencing sounds so cool. I have to admit, I'm a little, like, I get nervous when it comes to the idea of, like, sharp, pokey things, but I know they do it safely. Just in my mind, I go, I don't want to get poked. It sounds really fun equally, though. Okay. Coming up on time. So let me clean up a lot. I'll be doing the last little bit of this off camera, but you guys got to be along for the ride on cleaning up and adding texture to this picture. Let me continue to clean up the fur patterns. Because yeah, whenever I have a stripe or any kind of patterns on an animal, instead of just having a straight, bold... Because I think Geen has mentioned this before when he's seen other pictures, that if you have this sharp division like this, that doesn't seem natural on fur. Fur has like it's a bunch of frayed hairs. So the way I solve it is going to really low opacity, selecting one of the colors and kind of like overlapping a little bit. And then I go back to the one I haven't used and then overlap again. So it's kind of going back and forth, like take the dark color, then take the light color, then take the dark color. Hopefully that looks obvious here. I'm just overlapping them like that. And when you keep going back and forth, they start to balance again. But now it looks like natural fur, the way it kind of frays. And yeah, you wear armor and they handle it well. It makes sense. I just like being honest on like what I first think of when I hear that, and yeah, that's the first thing I think of is like, oh, I don't want to get stabbed. But they do it safely. I had a friend, I think, who like took fencing at college. Well, Alex said he has, and I think someone in my area said they had as well. So maybe my area does have it. Yeah, fur overlapping. That's the thing I have, Alex, as I just showed. I can do it again one more time. Okay, if you're working on stuff, yeah. This applies to working on paper, because I do this with colored pencils as well. I do the exact same thing with colored pencils. You start really light, and you just start with one of the colors, and overlap it to the other side. And then take the light color, and do the same thing to the dark side. From the dark to the light, and from the light to the dark. Jack is here! Yay! I didn't know if you'd be able to make it. I know you said you were at work, and I understood. Oh, you just now got off work. Yay! That works out then. You caught me right at the tail end. Tail. Anyway. Bad puns for the win as well. But yeah. Oh, okay. As long as you're driving safely, then I allow it, Jack. Drive safely. I do not condone streaming while driving. Or watching a stream. Words, you know what I mean. Opacity I use... Right now it's at just like 40 something. Let me see if I can change the... See, if I pull this toolbar over for you... There you go, you can see it. Right now it's about 40 something. You're beta testing for an MMORPG? Terra. Have I heard of Terra? I like the name, but I don't know if I've seen that. I recently saw a VR thing that was called Moss, where you get to help this little like mouse going through like a Redwall scenario of adventure and danger. That game looked amazing. I have no VR at all, but man, that looked fun. But yeah, right now the opacity is at 40. When I'm blending colors, I go anywhere between 50 to 30. Now if I'm changing something, I make the opacity really high. As you can see here, I'll go up to like 70 or something. If I want to literally, like if I were going to add a stripe onto her, then I would go up to this opacity, as you can see right here. And then if I wanted to blend it, I just randomly go down to like, this time I went to 30, sometimes it's 40, just something lower. And then I start doing the blending technique I mentioned, which she doesn't need a stripe on her arm, but that was just an example. Come on, Control-Z. There we go. PS4 and Xbox One, the PS4 version. Okay. Well, my sister has a PS4, so I can shout that out to her. And I can hear from you what you think of it, because yeah. Now that she has that, I'm curious to start seeing more the actual new games they have out. Like my sister now is playing the new Life is Strange game, which is getting intense. She's letting me watch as she plays, and oof. They pull the heartstrings so well. Oh man. I enjoy it, but also I'm like, no, so sad. Oh, so sad. Yeah, I need to wind down because I'm looking at the time. Well, I definitely enjoy doing streams like this because everybody's got their own time zone, and I know it's easier on me to do early streams like this, even if a lot of people have school or jobs earlier in the day. So the goal, I think, is to... I'm obviously going to keep some evening streams, like always on Saturdays and Tuesdays with Jack. So we'll always have those. I think I could try doing this again next Friday. It all depends on how my energy holds up. But as my schedule is clearing up... Yeah, true. Sleep is also a factor. Yeah. That's actually the big thing with me lately, too, is that I need to fix my sleep schedule. So, yeah, I think I can afford to do a mix. That way, I can accommodate for everyone's schedule, and it gives me a variety. because I kind of like both. There's advantages to both. The evening stream, I feel like I know more people can make those, I think, but I kind of like doing these evening these early day ones. I'm clearly not awake yet, but I'm still trying to do this. This helped. I've already gotten some practice now. And I got to get most of this picture polished up. So, and Luna got to see it. That's also one of the big important parts. Because I know last time I did a birthday picture, actually it's been 2 times. I did one for Alex, and I did one for Silly. I want to try and do those more often because I like those. Just have to keep track of when birthdays are. And I know also I sometimes do them during Saturday streams. I do birthday pictures, so that's happened before as well. So yeah, Saturday tomorrow is still a go. We will be doing normal requests tomorrow. I will still be starting with a commission to begin it off, because that does help me warm up, gives people time to show up. I like that so far a lot. But we will do the normal setup tomorrow. And I need to go ahead and draw this to a close, because I have to go do errands. I have to drive around, which means dealing with rush hour traffic. So I'm allowing for an extra hour. And then I will have to eat dinner before starting my Patreon stream. And I know... Oh, Hattie, yeah, you showed up right at the end of this stream. I will be doing, I was doing an early stream as I worked on a picture before I have to go do errands. The normal Saturday stream is tomorrow. So don't worry, Hattie. I'm still doing my normal stream tomorrow. Luna is one of the friends over in Discord, over in the Wolf Wizard chat. But I had to only do an hour stream because I have errands. This was a quick stream to get some practice and progress. I know everyone has a different schedule, so making this was a little difficult. Don't worry, I'm also doing the one tomorrow. This was just a small one. But yeah, I need to go make my plans happen, because I know rush hour is going to impede on me, and the traffic here is bad, so I need to go ahead and just leave now. But I will see you all tomorrow. Normal time, we're aiming for 6 p.m. as long as I get my butt in gear and nothing intrudes on it. So I will always make posts and announcements on Twitter for the normal stream in case anything happens. And yeah, I think that's it for right now. Thank you all for watching this surprise stream. Surprise streams, I understand if people can't make them because obviously they're surprise. So... as my schedule clears up, these may happen more often, which means I will try to do them more often. And yes, I will send you that picture, Geen. It may happen as I get back, because I need to leave now to catch good time on traffic. I don't want to be held up. So I will send it to you before I start. I promise that part. It'll be when I get back. And thank you all for showing up. I know this was a surprise stream, but I may do these more often just as a little extra. It won't intrude on my normal streams. The ones on Saturday and Tuesday will still be normal. But we will also have random ones as I have time. So thank you all for showing up. This was a surprise Pinmark stream for Luna, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you all for showing up. And yeah, that's it. Bye, guys. Take it easy. Go get food and water, because I know I need to. Bye-bye.